The Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra on One UI 7 has been pretty fun to use, pretty smooth, but we haven't compared it yet against the Google Pixel with Android 15 to see how it compares in animations and speed, as these are two of the most popular options in the US market. Let's go ahead and see how they stack up in terms of the animations. So what is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology. Hope you guys had a happy holiday weekend. You could see everything is closed out here for the Galaxy S24 Ultra. Everything is going to be closed out right here. We're going to pop some apps open and take a look at some animations. I have Android 15 over here on the right. This is the Pixel UI. However, it's pretty close to stock, but not quite, but because it has a few extra features on top. Right, so let's pay attention here to how this performs, just kind of navigating through. You see on that initial swipe over to the left, it was a little bit slow, but it cleans itself up. Also, keep in mind, some of the Samsung phones, when you first turn them on, definitely have a tendency to get to take a while to warm up. On One UI 7, it hasn't really changed. It kind of still does that. Now, when we go into the app drawer, you can go ahead and see very fast to navigate through here. And there is another way to go ahead and navigate it here. If we go into the custom order, you can go into the horizontal. However, again, we're pretty close, I think, to beta 3. So we'll see if Samsung allows horizontal in both modes, but we're not seeing that yet. You'll see very fast and snappy to navigate, and much faster than some older editions of One UI. If we go over here in the settings, you'll see that's pretty smooth, and navigating through seems to be quite okay. If we go ahead and swipe over to the left, you'll get notifications to the right, and you'll see it comes down very quickly. Also, if you click down here, you can go through here just like that. And of course, you can go ahead and add more pages as you would like and swipe through there. So definitely pretty fast to navigate the home screen UI. No real issues, but is it smoother? Is it any quicker feeling for the Pixel? Let's go ahead and take a look at that now. So here's the Google Pixel 9 Pro XL, the best version of the Pixel right now. Some would argue that's the 9 Pro Fold. Usually the standard smartphone is going to be their fastest though. And you'll see right here, very quick to navigate. If we go off to the side, looks like Pixel already had this option to go ahead and go through here. Although you're not going horizontal, you could download a launcher if you want to go horizontal versus vertical, but most people are digging the vertical, I feel like, because it's just more easy alphabetically in the mind to find the application. Now, if we come over here to the right, what I'm seeing to me is a little bit, maybe a little bit more visually pleasing on the Pixel here to swipe through. However, the Samsung feels slightly snappier, I would say faster, but the Pixel right here, man, just feels kind of like a little bit smoother to me in terms of visually pleasing. Some people are going to say it's the beta. Not really. Samsung phones usually have so many features that they're usually not quite as snappy as some of these more stock phones. So we'll see if that changes by official. But Samsung looking very fast, probably the fastest animations I've seen in a while, and fastest like looking software, but the Pixel still has some pretty visually pleasing effects here. So you can see as we pull down, pretty similar overall. And also the Pixel is one of the smoother phones. As you go over to the Google over here, you see like the news articles and stuff. It's just smoother here on the Pixel than some other phones. So I'd give it that. Again, this is official software, but I've seen this happen on pretty much all my Samsung devices. When I go over, it just kind of looks a little bit more delayed. Now it's going to shut me up. But overall, I got to say, you're going to be pretty close here on either of these phones when operating them day to day. One thing I will say I prefer about the Samsung device, though, is this blur in the background versus this on the Pixel. It just kind of like covers it up. That to me is not very nice looking. It looks pretty plain. So I am a fan of wherever you're at in the home screen. If you go like this, you'll see there's like a little blur effect from where you're at. To me, that's more visually pleasing. Even here, you'll see the apps are kind of blurred in the background. Over here, if I'm in the app drawer, it doesn't matter where I'm at. It's just going to block that out. So that looks pretty plain to me. I'm more of a fan of that on the left. Now, as you've seen, everything was closed out. Let me close that app. Let's go ahead and open a few applications just to kind of see how they look animations-wise. So if we go ahead and open it up, Samsung faster there. But if we swipe out, I want to go ahead and take a closer look at the animation. So you can see it's very smooth now to kind of come out of here. I mean, not that it wasn't before, but it just looks smoother than ever now for the Samsung. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Pixel. Pixel got a little janky there on the first swipe out. I don't know. I feel like the Samsung might be looking a little smoother there. Let's go ahead and take a look at calculator on both phones. Samsung still has the faster app launch, it looks like to me. Of course, Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. But look how smooth it is coming back. Very visually pleasing. Over here for the right. That animation to me looks a little like it needs a little work here on the Pixel. So smooth. I used to call this phone one of the smoothest out there because it was. It still is a very smooth phone, but that animation looks a little bit like it could use some work coming back home. It looks like it jumps a little bit towards the end. I could be wrong. Let me know if I'm seeing things or I need to get my glasses checked. Let's go over here to Google News, and you'll see, again, launches first on the left. We'll go to technology, pretty much the same there. And coming out, pretty much the same. Now, people are going to say, well, when are you ever going to do this? You're probably not ever going to do this, but, you know, just kind of like the little bit of smoother animations that's coming to the One UI 7 overall, I think should push the Pixel, you know, software to get a little bit more smooth. It is really smooth already, but I like to see a little bit more buttered up, you know, animations, if you will, more polished. They look a little bit jumpy to me now that the One UI 7 has come out and made this really smooth looking effect. Let's go ahead and take a look here. You see that like little jump? So it's like a little stutter there. Watch. Hold on. Let's do it again. Okay, now you don't want to do it. It was just doing it a second ago. Rewind the video. You'll see what I'm talking about. Overall, though, these feel like next generation animations to me, app openings on the Samsung, whereas the Pixel kind of looks like yesteryear. So I think the next version of the software for the Pixel, we're going to see animation changes. I think they're going to get smoother. That's personally my take. And this could be too that this has the slower CPU. But yeah, look at that difference. You can see it right there. This kind of like jumps out. Samsung just very visually pleasing there. So Samsung went to town there on the app animations. Right, so let's see how the Samsung looks here when it comes to their app tray. You see it's kind of very nice as well now. It used to be a little bit different, but you can see the whole effect of it is kind of looking a little bit smoother here than before. So definitely quite nice. Although you are going to be able to customize this as an Android phone. If you don't like this, you'll be able to customize this with the good lock when it gets updated for One UI 7. But you'll see overall very smooth to navigate through the app switcher. Let's take a look at the app switcher here for the Pixel. Very smooth as well. It's side to side, so can't really see much of a difference here. And you'll see as I swipe across, everything seems to go pretty well. I don't like how the Pixel has the clear all button all the way to the left, because if you have like 15 apps, I gotta go all the way over to the left just to hit the clear all button. So I would like Google to bring the clear all button down here, like they kind of have it on other Android phones, or any up here somewhere, just kind of like somewhere front and center, because when I got like 20 apps, I'm like, okay, like here we go, clear all right there. But you know, with this one, I just go ahead and take it, bring it up like that, boom, I'm done. So that is a smarter implementation of the clear all button. But I think in terms of the app switchers, both are pretty much equally smooth. It's just kind of which one do you like the way it looks? That's what I feel like. Which one do you prefer its look? All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at how they look with the animations on the lock screen. So we'll begin with the Samsung. Has like this little ripple effect when you go ahead and unlock it. Some people said it reminds them of the TouchWiz days. I'd have to agree, and that's not a bad thing, because I kind of liked the old Galaxy S3 and all that stuff. That was fun. I actually covered that on the channel years ago. That's when I was rooting Android phones and covering how to change the whole software. Shout outs to you if you've been rocking with me that long. But you'll see with the face unlock, they even have a smoother flying effect here. So I missed it there. The camera's blocking me. Hold on. You'll see right there. Kind of like flies in a little bit nicer than before. So very nice, I would say. That flying animation getting better. Pixel though, almost dropped this thing. So Pixel, nice flat display, nice flat edges. See how that looks? Hold on. So that one, like that. So I don't have this on bypass lock screen, but there's the flying effect. Pretty nice. I think that's snappy. So I like that. That's pretty good there. For that lock screen, let's check the fingerprint. I might miss because I have a fingerprint. I got a screen protector on here, which messes with the fingerprint sometimes. But you see, that flying effect is pretty good as well. I think that's pretty smooth. Which one do you think was smoother though? Was it the Samsung over here on the lock screen? Or was it the Pixel here? To me, I don't know. It feels like the Samsung is doing it better here as well. It just looks a little like smoother the way it flies in. Maybe it's a little slower looking on the Pixel. I don't know. It's pretty close. This stuff is really hard to see. There's very minor details, but all these little things are what's adding up to make for maybe a better experience for you going into 2025. The little things plus the bigger batteries. Hopefully we see carbon and silicon batteries and all these new technologies like that. But, you know, like little animations, little software tweaks, features, it's all going to come down to the details, I think, going forward as we're so mature in this market now. So let's see how these phones look when they launch the cameras from the lock screen. So let's go ahead and double click here. And you could see the animation looked like it was not super smooth, but more trying to get into the speed. You'll see it kind of just blinked into the camera. Like it looks like it's prioritizing. Let me just get in there, which is important. I do want it to prioritize that as we are, looking forward to having a fast launch experience. So for the Pixel, double click, and the Pixel kind of showed a flying effect. You could see it's trying to come in from the right side. To me, it didn't look very smooth though. It looked kind of like a blink. It looked like it's jumping and blinking. You won't even pay attention to this when you're actually using the phone, because by the time you do that, you're already snapping a picture. But it's just something I wanted to show. I like how Pixel's trying to go for an animation with it, but maybe we'll see a flying effect on upcoming betas here. But the Samsung definitely looks smoother there though, just maybe because of skipping the animation. But it doesn't look consistent, because if we have animations here, but then we have no animations on the camera, that looks a little inconsistent to me. Now when we're in the camera here, we have an animation for flipping around to the selfie. And you can see it's very smooth, very smooth. You can also just go like that to flip it. And I love that. It looks super smooth. However, over here on the Pixel, if I go ahead and go into the camera, let's take a look here. If I swipe, it just brings up the settings. But if I flip like that, not really too much of an animation there, just like a little bit of a fly. So let me know which one you think looks more visually pleasing there, switching between the rear and the front facing cameras. All right, so let's go ahead and look at scrolling here, and you can see both of them very fast. I feel like the Samsung phone, they're both got this fast Android scrolling, but I feel like the Samsung phone feels like it moves slightly quicker. It might just be my eye, but it just looks like it moves a hair quicker. I mean, it's almost nothing, but Pixel seems to be looking for more of a smoother scroll. However, as you slow it down, they both feel generally the same, and I do feel like the Samsung is jumping a little bit more here as I perform this action. So Pixel might be a little bit more consistent in that scrolling. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Play Store. Yeah, that's that Samsung phone on the scroll. Hold on, let me back this up. Let's go to top charts. Definitely wants to fly. But on the end of the day, come on, Nick, bro. At the end of the day, you're not gonna. There's not much in it with the scrolling. There really isn't. But they both have back gestures from the right, and coming out, you'll see it's gonna show that same animation. And you can see while the Pixel's coming home a little bit quicker, looks like Samsung's going for more of a visually pleasing animation there. And of course, with both of these phones, you can go back into developer options, turn them off, lower them if you want them even faster. So in conclusion, this was interesting to see how One UI 7 is stacking up against the Pixel version of Android. And I gotta say, I think One UI 7's animations are a little smoother than the Pixels. I feel like the Pixels are a little bit faster, but sometimes a little jumpier. I don't know if this is related to the Pixel having a slower processor. I doubt it. It probably just needs different animations. It hasn't really changed too much in a while. But the Pixel is still very smooth across the board. It has very smooth scrolling and very consistent UI. So I think it looks a little bit cleaner in a lot of areas. It also had the pill-shaped camera, the pill-shaped icons up here, and now Samsung is taking those. And I do feel like Samsung is more of a mashup of a lot of different softwares, the way it looks. Some people think it's a carbon copy of certain software. I'm not going to say which one it is. Some people think it's just a mix-up of both of them. It looks tacky. Some people think it's amazing and they love the ecosystem. It's all really down to personal preference these days. But I got to say the Samsung's animations are next level compared to where they used to be. And I'm just excited to see the official version. But the Pixel still held its own very well in this video, and both of them are fantastic here. I do want to see Pixel maybe do some new animations though, because Oxygen OS 15 got some newer looking animations. One UI 7 got some newer looking animations. I think it's time for Google to step it up here and make this look a little bit smoother than it ever looked before. Thumbs up if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Have a happy new year. Nick here. Be sure to be well, and peace.